Yo, now it's the Red Blue Podcast crew. Reviewing flicks, both old and new. Red and blue, not political. Nah, man, chill. It was Marvel versus DC till we lost that thrill. Don't stress the episode, don't ask the season. We double up franchises, don't ask for a reason. Multi's got rules that nobody gets. His takes on movies, they're wild as it gets. He's got Super Bowl Mac and Gray by his side. Trying to keep it sane while they're in for the ride. Multi's measures are out of control, but in the end he's got the final role. Yeah, that Blue Podcast, come check the scene. Movies old and new, know what I mean?
And we are live talking about Thunderbolts, the new movie that just came out last Friday. And after that, we will be talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. How are you, Matt?
I'm fine. I'm happy to be here. I missed the last show, so I'm happy to be back to talk with you about cinema and talk about the new entry and the MCU, Thunderbolt. An interesting movie to talk about. So I'm excited to talk about with you about this movie and discover your opinion about that. I feel there will be a big discussion about this movie. So yeah, let's start that. And you, Multi, how are you doing?
I am doing great, and thank you for joining us. I cannot wait to talk about these two movies. And I'm surprised. I liked Doctor Strange a lot, but we will start with Thunderbolt. How are you, Dlord?
I'm surviving and I'm good. I'm doing better. I mean, granted, I was been feeling like borderline crap for like 2 days, but other than that, it's all good. Just dealing with the busy month. And yeah, no, you're a little late to the moon party. I mean, God, there is. Multiverse of Madness is the film that the reason why it's memed on, I'm sure Matt would agree or disagree, is the fact it is where it's kind of like there's a lot of theories like in the Flash film. The reason why the Flash film, like they went with a lot of directions. It's supposed to represent Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be the next great threat was going to be the multiverse. Yeah. Something from there, the Kangs, the something else.
And so cancel culture happened, and here we are. So we will talk about Thunderbolts first. I will ask, Matt, what did you think of Thunderbolts?
Yeah, so Thunderbolt, I like very much this movie. It's one of the best of the last year for the MCU. You have some min movie the few back here. Sure, you have Deadpool 3 was so a blast to see, but the last Captain America was okay, not a bad movie for me, but not big enough. It's just okay, interesting take about the character. But now you have something new, new team, new story, new character, not new character, but a new way to develop this character. So yeah, we used to follow this team Thunderbolt, not the same as the comic, just the name, because Thunderbolt they pretty much like the Suicide Squad for DC comic. Government use a bunch of villains from prison to dangerous mission. And some of famous, other not, like Baron Zemo. He's one of the member of the Thunderbolt.
And I gotta say this: we will spoil the entire thing, so this is the warning, everyone. So sorry I cut you off there, but go for it, go for the throat, as they say it.
And the thing with the Thunderbolt, you have one character lead this group, and in the comic usually is Hawkeye. But like I said, it's not the same team as the comics. So you
Thunderbolts are usually it's more akin to a really like a Suicide Squad level, but it goes not as much how they use the Suicide Squad as much as it is either anti-heroes or super villains. They either give a task of doing the dirty jobs, basically. Like, depending on the team, it has a couple of always consistents, but it also has like fill-ins. Like at one point, would you consider the Red Hulk for it, or would you do the other? Because it is supposed to be like the penal colony team, or the people that they could say, oh, they're supervillains. They wind up doing stuff.
Yeah,
Or
we get it. So we
right.
will let Matt continue.
It's,
Sorry, Matt.
it's okay. No problem. Like that. This is the thing with the Thunderbolts. So I expect some movie like that, like Suicide Squad movie, but not the first, but the second one with James Gunn. And this movie was so a surprise for the story. You follow this team. And name Thunderbolt, and you follow this many characters you see before, like the new Black Widow, Yelena, played by Florence Pugh. She was amazing before. She is amazing again here. It's the third time she done this character. She done in the Black Widow movie, and the Hawkeye CE, and now for this movie. And happy to see her again. She shine in this movie. She's the best character in the movie with this character of Sentry. Is like the main villain in this movie. He's played by Lewis Pullman. He was not the first actor to play the character, but when the movie started this production, the first actor we chose has to leave, and he chose this character, and I feel this character is perfect in the role. Lewis Pullman is a good sentry, and you see the other character I like the Red Guardian. It's so funny to follow. Is the Russian Captain America. It was funny to follow in the Black Widow in a funny year, played by David Harbour. I like this actor so much. And another bunch of this group. You have the villain from the Ant-Man 2 coming back, Ghost. And I think we never see this villain again. But it's interesting to use this character again because it's the rare case when the villain was not killed in the end of the movie. She was alive at the end of the movie. So I think to reuse this character for the movie. But for the case of Taskmaster, I feel it's the only problem I have with this movie. And I have the same problem with the Black Widow movie is the use of Taskmaster. You can see that the MCU don't care about the character and don't how to use this character well. So again, in this movie, the Taskmaster is just a joke. It's sad for that. But yeah, overall, this movie was a big surprise. I like the way that movie used Sentry and the team faced the Sentry. In the end, it's not a big fight like we think we will be see, but more like a fight with this mind. The real villain of the movie is the depression, the darkness. It's not the big threat who will destroy the world. Since you can destroy the world, but in the end, is more the real villain of the movie is the inside of the team. I like this take about this character and this team. And yeah, I was happy to see that. I don't think the movie is perfect, but it one of the best of few in the few year of the MCU back, because, like I say, you have seen some mid movie or forgettable movie about the MCU in the past year, except like Deadpool 3. But I think Thunderbolt is a proof that Disney and Marvel can do good movie again. This movie remind me the start of the phase one of the MCU when the movie has more emotion in it, more development for the character, and this movie does that very well with a good actor, good character, and a original story. It's not a story you see before. Yes, we see a team, you see a villain, but in the end, it's not the story you can predict the end of this movie. I like that for that. And yeah, I don't have big issue with this movie. So forever, one of them is one favorite movie for the past year in the MCU. I want to see more of this, all this team. I know this team has been announced for the new Avenger movie, so we see this character again for the next Avenger movie. I'm happy for that. So yeah, for me it was a good time, and a good surprise, and maybe this movie would not please for everyone because the movie is a mix of many things. Like I say, you have the villain of Ant-Man 2, you have the USA agent from the TV show Falcon and Winter Soldier, you have Time Master, Red Guardian, and the new Black Widow from the film Black Widow. So it's a mix of many things, but it's so well done for me. And it's one of the strangest of the movie. But I feel maybe for some people will be confused to follow all this mix for this movie. But for me, it was great. It was basically it was a great movie. So yeah, I want to hear you about that. I want to talk.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for sharing. And I gotta say, it feels like a Black Widow sequel, Whiteout being one in the title, because a lot of focus are in Black Widow characters like um, Yelena and Red Guardian.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very interesting. I liked it. It felt refreshing. And the more I thought about the movie, the more I found other issues. Anyhow, I still liked it a lot. That's a very good flick. And you said you mentioned phase one vibes, phase two vibes. I agree. I feel like even if that movie might be slightly worse than others we have covered, it has something else. It's very good, and if the MCU keep going that way, I feel like the glory will be restored. Um, Now, I gotta say, first thing first, uh, beside being some kind of Black Widow sequel, I feel like a lot of that movie is about redemption. Red Guardian fell off as a hero, and now he's kind of coming back in the spotlight, and he's the hero of the day, and it's kind of cool. And when you look into it, that team is a team of anti-hero and super villain that wants to do the good thing for once. They're gonna force him to it, but still in the end they make the right call. They try to do change, and they try to help people, and they all have their moment to shine at the very end. It really felt like Avengers, Avengers. They were saving people around, and here, well, they are saving people around as well. um I gotta say, my first issue was plot armor. Yelena didn't get incapacitated or defeated by someone with super strength after taking two hits. The same guy did bent still. I'm mainly talking about Walker. That was basically in the base when they all fought each other. I was like, man, she should be knockout. Like, the guy bent still, and she just thinks it's like that. Is she a superhuman I don't know about? Like, I gave her a pass for flipping people twice her size because she's a Black Widow, but that's just too much for me when she's just taking these hits and it's like nothing. The guy doesn't have super strength when he hits her. He has super strength when he flips table of steel and he bends steel, but when it comes to the herb, it magically disappear. I hate that, and it's kind of funny because you cannot say, "Oh, he was holding himself." No, he doesn't hold himself. It's just the writer. They don't realize how inconsistent they are in the writing of the super strength. Um, Now, my next issue is more of the same, but this time around, it's much later in the movie. It's when they all fought Sentry in the tower. Uh, More plot armor. Yenila, when she fought Sentry in the Avengers Tower, she flew around without breaking bones or losing consciousness. Like, the guy is beating crap of the entire team, which is great. It's a show of power, and that's the point of Sentry. But, like, really? 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 You really think your viewer is that stupid? It's sad. It's also frustrating. Now, I got the third issue. I actually forgot to mark it down in my notes because it's more of a afterthought after thinking again about that movie. My last issue, my third issue, is they kind of dropped the ball on the woman that's behind everything. They were going at the Congress to indict her, or I don't know why, like to have trial on her by the end of the movie. This is what they were doing before Sentry went crazy and destroyed everything, and they just dropped that plot because they defeat Sentry, and now she's just in the public eye just like that, and they don't even address the fact that maybe there's a trial with her. It's like they forgot, or they're like, oh, now she kind of does the right thing, so let's just forgive her. I hate that. I hate it. It's like,
Man, in the end in the movie, the last quote, Yelena said to Fontaine that she got hair. No, that not a good end for the character of Fontaine, because she trapped with that. In the moment the new Avenger will drop, she will lose. You know, that the way Yelena said in the end of the movie. She, I got you. So she's trapped for that. When the moment the new Avenger will drop, she will drop too. So it's not a good ending for her. But maybe the movie need more explication for that. I understand. I understand that.
so what are you trying to say? Can you expand a bit more, because I am not quite sure I
She's
understood.
okay, Multi. She is supposed to be Madam Hydra. That's actually who she is supposed to be.
Okay,
And she
but
has
I don't really mind who
okay.
she's
So
supposed
the
to be. Like,
process by
what
so
I do
she's
mind
supposed to
is,
be the
why did they?
CIA director who has been doing a bunch of stuff through the films, I guess, because I guess without the Avenger, she decides to move forward with Project Century. Whether they say Century is a product of the super soldier serum, but like the it's always I've always hated the MCU's version of the super soldiers formula and how they use it. But like the idea is she's been conducting experiments and she's been in like the other films, because the beginning of the film Multi is supposed to have kicked off right after Captain Falcon in the winter. I mean, the Captain Falcon film,
Yeah.
where
But
oh
I get that. But my issue is, at the end they don't address it. At the
yeah
end, it's like she gets away with every bad thing she did throughout the
No,
movie.
like
no
no, that's not the case. Like I would try to explain you, but
Okay.
with my bad English, sorry. But in the end, the last scene of the movie is Yelena say to La Fontaine that she had got here. That the phrase she said, that the purpose that is, when the new Avenger will drop, she will drop too. So she is trapped with the team, and then when this team will be dropped, she will be in the same moment we should in the start of the movie. She will be in jail. I know, maybe
Okay.
not.
Now is she in jail or not? Like, they're
No,
trying to
no.
get that she's not in jail.
For the moment, she is the face of the new Avenger. When the new Avenger will drop, she will drop. You understand that?
Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Well, okay. At least that kind of fixes that issue. But it kind of bothers me, the placement of it. I didn't thought they would having like two or three other end credit scenes, because apparently there's also a Fantastic Four end credit scene I didn't see. Uh, that was odd. Like, we had the supermarket one. I did see that one, and I was like, "Oh, the movie is over now." But no, there's more. Okay, there's more.
Yeah.
So I guess my third issue is not an issue because I didn't stick around till the end. But um, I'm glad they didn't drop it, actually. So that's a good thing. Now, these were my issues. So, massive plot armor twice on Yelena. It bothered me so much. It's not consistent. Like, we got Sentry that can break super soldiers, people like Bucky and the other guy, Walker, and yet Yelena just thinks like a champ. It's stupid. It's brain dead. Uh, Outside of that, well, I will admit the action throughout the movie is amazing. The humor, I thought the humor was very fun, and even if the movie was kind of dark and it was about it, it was about like really people passing, just like out drowning the people. So people get drawn by their sins and that kind of stuff. People are depressed and they're sad, and a lot of people uh, basically um, depict the movie as a therapy session. That's a parody of what the movie is, but they are kind of after. They are kind of right on that. It's a therapy session. So despite that very dark tone and that very dark movie, there's still that sliver of hope where we have very funny scenes, and especially with the laboratory early in the movie, that was funny. I like that scene a lot. The laboratory scene is something I will remember for a long time with the scientist. Um, Yelena just as charisma. I will disagree with Dlord. I thought Yelena was probably the best part of that movie. With Bucky, Bucky was also very good. I think Bucky was amazing. Um, I will say the villain was very entertaining. She was really cool and she had charisma and she was full of crap for the right reason to remain YouTube friendly. Um, Reaching out to people to heal was a nice team. The team forced to work together to save the day was great, and it felt earned at the very end because they kind of talked down Sentry at some extent. Uh, and it worked well because that movie again is depicted as a therapy session, and that's kind of true. The memes are kind of right on that. Yelena desire to become a hero to overcome her past was very fun, and it felt like what we didn't get with Black Widow, because when we picked up with Black Widow in the MCU, she was already a hero. She had that dark past, but she was already a hero. There, I feel like we got what's missing from Black Widow in the MCU, and that's very fun. I like it. Um, the girl working for the villain, slowly overcoming her fear to do the right thing was nice growth. Um, Again, I think that MCU flick is fun. It's one of my favorite MCU we had. It's probably like, if we count all of the Spider-Man movies that were made by Sony and Sam Raimi, I think we are around 35, 36 MCU flicks. And I think that one is easy top 10. I don't know where exactly in top 10, but that's how I feel about Thunderbolts. I don't have a lot more to say, but again, I liked it. That was a fun time. No regrets whatsoever. What did you think of Thunderbolts, Dlord? The dragon. Are you there with us, the dragon? I summon the dragon. The dragon is out.
Give him a sec. You talk for so long, maybe he's go take a drink. I don't know.
No,
Oh, the dragon is here.
sorry, someone came to the door. No, the thing on Thunderbolts, it's not that I don't like it. The thing is, the idea of, okay, they do not know how to consistently write the super soldier formula. Like, it's supposed to be, okay, the Infinity formula is a knockoff version of it that they have constantly used. It was inverted by the Russians to create the original Winter Soldier. Now, they call the Red Guardian, in the comics, the Red Guardian is a mutant. Okay, he's a mutant. But they didn't have the rights to mutants, so they had to say he was a knockoff of the Russian Infinity formula experiments. Now, that's fine. He's a really good actor. But originally, as Matt probably knows, in the comic, he's a mutant. You have basically, it makes sense that you have the comic, you have the Captain America, I think he's called Flag Smasher in the comics at one point, but Walker, right? Like, he basically is the evil Captain America. Kind of like, he's one of those people, he's given it, but he's still acknowledged as but he has the Infinity Formula. The thing is, the Infinity Formula is supposed to make people over a period go insane. That's why Nick Fury got it, and then Nick Fury has it, Junior has it by blood. So, being the child, that's the Black Nick Fury. That's probably why, like, he ages and he can stay powerful. But a lot of the team, it's fine. Some of the acting is really good. The action scenes are good. Like the introduction of Sentry as a crazy person. Now, there is some weird the way the dialogue is. They have wasted Madam Hydra. That's actually who she's supposed to be. Now, the crazy part about it is, it's not that this is a follow-up to Black Widow as much as they're reworking how the placeholders of these films go. So apparently, timeline-wise, it goes Captain America, or Captain Falcon, Thunderbolts, and the end credits is supposed to lead into Fantastic Four, which I think is an edit. Now, whether or not it stays, I do think it was the target for this film was still meant for children. Half the film, I'm like, the humor is off to me. Like, they want to be serious, but not serious, and it's like lighthearted Deadpool humor, like with Yelena in the beginning. But
Yes.
I've just never liked Yelena as the Black Widow replacement. Like, it's always been out of place in the MCU, so to speak, because it's just weird. Like, you can look at the various parts, but, like, you can tell either in the rewriting at some point where, do you remember in Captain Falcon, basically, or Brave New World, Bucky barely appears.
Yeah.
But
true.
in this one, he's timely, he's in the places, and I think that's a post-scripting. And it really fits. But now, the thing about... Now, I do think some of the fights are really good. Like, when you're trying to explain what the Sentry's powers are, the Sentry, as I was stating is like a celestial force. Like, he can fight Thanos. Like, I think, like, during one of the Marvel events, he is basically like if evil Superman goes evil without a conscience.
Yeah.
That is basically what the Void is. You are talking about where they had to invent plot armor in one point in the comic so he would battle with himself. Now, do I think... I did call the ending prior to the film. Prior to when I heard it was. I go, they were just going to talk him down like some My Little Pony episode or something. And I'm like, I mean, look, the idea is basically, how do you stop? He is equivalent to trying to stop Dr. Manhattan. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, even when DC's had to deal with, like, Dr. Manhattan, he just has that much power. Your average heroes can't deal with him. Like, the teaser, supposedly, it's going around, is literally Doctor Doom is going to kill Thanos on the spot. Okay, that's going to be interesting how that occurs. But the concept is Sentry is very powerful, but he still has a conscience. Now, they do a good way of explaining the relationship, because if you catch in the fight scene in the vault area, she accidentally touches a thing that unthaws him, basically, from the box. But the thing about, they also kill the female Taskmaster. Taskmaster's power is not as much a power as his ability to fight. Like, he can duplicate moves, like, but without the powers. Like, in the comics, he runs around with a shield. So the thing about when you see all the three super soldiers fight, like Ghost, arguably, they say Ghost has to hold her body together. Technically, Ghost is like an advanced AI, like he has a suit traditionally that can interface with technology and advance things. And it's fine because the recent iterations of Ghost have been female, so it's fine. All Ghost is basically a anti-hero that goes around with technology, interfaces it, and tries to steal it or blow it up. So, and what's funny in this film, okay, do you know how, like, we were reviewing Daredevil? Do you know the events that lead to Fisk becoming mayor in Shadowlands is?
I didn't see anything.
No,
shows.
do you know the events? What's funny is Matt would know this. The events that lead to it.
I don't remember. It's been some
It's
time.
actually towards the end of Dark Reign, where Baron Zemo, who's part of the Dark Avengers,
Yes, I know that.
uses Sentry to go crazy, and he basically puts the equivalent to a black hole level of energy void field around New York.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's right at the end of Dark Reign. So what's funny is that's a little fun fact, because I'm like, you're going to do that without explaining the void. I guess that's going to be interesting. But I look at the film and it's not a terrible film, but like the big thing is it still comes down to like three super soldiers fighting Sentry. And then I always thought it was weird with plot armor. It's not Yelena's character as much as you can shut down the Sentry with like an implant. No. But then again, it's the version and the power of how they have him. And it's strange how it's going to lead into the next Avenger film. Like, everything now depends on how they're going to execute Secret Wars. Because if Secret Wars, and I'm going to assume it's Secret Wars 2015 they're going for, where it is the incursions, where the multiverses, where the Avengers have to go to other multiverses to blow up them so the other universes don't come colliding in. And ultimately it leads to God Emperor Doom presiding over stuff, saving what is left in the multiverse, and then he's eventually goes crazy with power and does it. Because there's like several different post-credit scenes. You see the one with the Fantastic Four. You also have the one where they show, which to me it's like weird CGI, with Thanos, Doctor Doom fighting Thanos in Secret Wars. So
that sounds fun.
You are talking, but it looks like a Mortal Kombat fatality. Which, I mean, okay, whatever version of Doom this is, this has to be a version, because they've already kind of spoiled Fantastic Four. The reason why we don't see that universe in Fantastic Four is because the fact that world was destroyed. But we don't know how it gets destroyed. So that's a little plot thing. Because they've already said the world that the Fantastic Four come from gets destroyed. But we don't know how. Whether it's a multiverse incursion or something to that degree.
And
Maybe it's Galactus,
yeah,
based on the trailer.
Well, okay, that's going to be okay. That is going to be a big thing with Fantastic Four. I think I'm going to hold out hope it's going to be a really, really good film because that's going to be a full-size Galactus. I do not think there's supposed to be cameos in there too, because it's going to be that version of Fantastic Four is supposed to be the first family of superheroes versions. Which I don't think Galactus, I think he's going to make a deal with Galactus unless I highly doubt they're going to say that world gets destroyed. But a lot of this all depends on the writers landing a plot. But we know prior to Secret Wars, the reason why we haven't seen them supposedly is that world was destroyed. That was probably because of the incursion. And the idea is Multiverse of Madness, right, was supposed to lead up to the idea of the incursions. Which, well, we just do not know because of the moment we confirmed it was going to be Secret Wars, right? They have talked about, I think one of the films that has been done is one of them, and they're talking about using, it's going to be a film, and the villain's going to be the Beyonder. And it's either going to be the actual villain of Secret Wars, will not be Doctor Doom. It will be the Beyonder. And there is either a teaser or a concept, but it's all going to be how they lead up to the next few films.
yeah, for sure. The next Avenger would be important to know how the future will be for this
Because,
universe.
Matt, I'm going to say this. Have you seen, the one I'm talking about, right? They hinted at a movie that the main plot is actually them fighting the Beyonder. That's the plot. I have to look because I know it was an announced project.
I don't see that, but Beyonder would be interesting to add to the MCU. He's one of the most power being in the Marvel universe, so it will be
He
interesting.
goes beyond power. You think trying to adjust the Century's power, you have to adjust the Beyonder himself is probably... Well, if you handle him like they handled the Collector's supposed to be a celestial entity too, but he's not.
Yeah.
But
But
anyway.
the Collector is not a big threat in the comic. He's just
No.
upset by collect everything. He have some powerful artifact, but in the end, he's not a big power being to fight like this. Like the Grandmaster from the Thor Ragnarok is the same thing. He's a celestial being, but he's just upset by sport, by competition. So he's supposed to be powerful, but in the end, he's not a threat because he not use his power for that. But yeah, Beyonder will be interesting to see for the power he can use because Beyonder is one of the top power character in the Marvel universe, and he has basically no weakness, and he can basically beat everybody. So it's really interesting to see this character appeared in the Secret War for the because the Secret War is the arc interesting is the first crossover of the Marvel, and is all the big character of the Marvel will reunite in some planet, some universe to fight, and that was the first big crossover of the Marvel. But the like Dragon say talk the future of the Second War will not be the first crossover, but the second one in the 2005, because you know that the same character and Doom is more important.
2015. That was the one with the
Yeah,
incursion.
and yeah, Doom is more important in this version. So yeah, I'm curious to see the two next Avenger movie for that. Particularly because and at first the first plan was to use Kang, but now Kang is out of the table and he used Doom. So I'm interesting to see what you done that with Doom and play by Johnny Jr. So it would be weird to see that too for the character of Iron Man play Doom. But wait and see for the future. Yeah.
So, Dlord, do you want to add anything else?
No, that's good. I mean, it's a good, entertaining film in sections, but it is also annoying and obnoxious in its downtime. Like outside the fight scenes, I mean, I just think some of the writing and the commentary, it's not even the plot armor that's weird. It's like Walker's character is good. It feels like some of the acting is absolutely wasted on a bad plot. Like, it's literally the CIA. I'm like, she's probably going to be removed by the time Avengers comes out. Like, I have a feeling she's going to get removed somehow because they're talking about impeaching her for basically stuff. Because she's basically, as I said, we've always known, it's been hinted at, she's basically Madam Hydra. So, go figure. If you know who Madam Hydra is,
She
That's what
she
she is.
she's like Nick Fury for the bad guys.
Oh,
she
okay, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, Dlord, what would be your grade out of 10 for Thunderbolts?
surprisingly, just because entertainment, I get it 6 out of 10. But it has, its plot is not good. Like but its fight scenes are good. Like I'm fine with, like, I gotta understand the dialogue fight for the fight at the end. She goes, Void's like, Sentry's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be a god. Well, yeah, in this version of Marvel, you're a god because nothing can stop you. Right? Because that's the
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
Like, and then just like, why do I have to listen to you?
I
And then
like
he
that.
just starts deleting people literally from existence by going, boop, boop. They turn to black mist. Quick. I'm like, well, it's going to be interesting. But I'm like, but it's not like the most demented, because like anybody, if you just look up who the Void is, you knew kind of what they were signing up for.
And I also like the crazy one. I adore that thing. 9.6 out of 10. Amazing movie.
And
What would be your grade out of 10, Matt?
it's weird because you have 3 issues with this movie and you give
Two
9.6.
issues, because one of them it's because I didn't stick to the end.
Okay, I would give. I'm not crazy as you, Multi, but for me, it's what a great movie for Marvel, and for not for the story like Dragon talk about, but the development of character, the emotion, and the way the movie not use the same story we see before. The story is interesting with the use of Sentry, the good and the bad side of the Sentry, and the way the actor played this character. So for me, it's easy 8 of a 10 for the movie, maybe 8.5. For some element, I will give, but one of the best Marvel movie for the past year. So yeah, and I want to see the movie again. I want to see this character. I want to see the next Avenger for some of this character, like the new Black Widow. I know Dragon not like her, but I like this version. And for the Red Guardian, he's so funny to follow. I like this idea of Captain America from Russia, played by David Harbour. He's so funny for this character. So yeah, 8 point of 10, 8 of 10 for this movie, maybe 8.5 for some point.
And again, you saved that movie a point five for me by saying, "Oh yeah, it's on one of the end credit scene. They kind of solved the issue I had." But again, that's a letdown for me. But that was a fun experience. I like that movie. Coming next, we got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I marked down N because I thought that was N, but that's actually in. Very interesting. I will let you start on that one, Matt. What did you think of Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah, Doctor Strange 2 was another great movie for this time. Back then, it was the start of the multiverse phase of Marvel. We have Spider-Man 3 before, No Way Home. Well, we see many characters from the multiverse, but it was a little thing for the purpose of the RC and for the storytelling. And this one is supposed to be much larger to say to people, look, that is the multiverse of Marvel, and we explore that, and we start with this movie. And I was so excited to see this movie for the kids, and more because the director of the movie is Sam Raimi, is a director for the trilogy of Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and he's a great director, and he is specialist for horror movie, but he has some touch for comic book. And this version of Spider-Man was so iconic. And yeah, well, many hope for this movie. I love the first Doctor Strange. I like the actor Benedict Cumberbatch play a good Doctor Strange. So when I see the movie, I was so excited, and yeah, it was a good moment, a great movie from Marvel. Maybe the only big issue I have with this movie is about the multiverse, but in the end, it was just a little taste of the multiverse. You can see this movie is just an exercise for the MCU to say, look, this is the future for the multiverse of Marvel. But if you want more, just stay put, and in the future we have more of a multiverse. But the taste it give us is very great. You have the Illuminati team, and this movie is a famous team in the Marvel comic where the most bright intelligence superhero on the Marvel unite to resolve a problem for the protection of the Earth. And some point, this team is known for the Planet Hulk arc, where all these heroes decide to exile Hulk on space. And when the Hulk returned angry, he beat each member of the Illuminati, and in the end, the arc he fights Sentry to be to connection for the last movie, and the fight is a tie up in the end. But yeah, interesting to see this version of the Illuminati. Is a team, unique team for the Marvel comic, with some good cameo. Like you have Patrick Stewart back as Professor X. You have Black Bolt played by a church in name. Wait a second, I will go. I don't know the name of the actor, but it's the same actor from the TV show Inhuman. Anson Mount, he played Black Bolt in the TV show Inhuman, and he had a second chance to play this character because Black Bolt is a famous superhero character from Marvel, and he had never time to shine in the MCU. This was cancelled after one season, and the TV show was not good. It was a bad TV show, but the actor was a good actor for that. And yeah, he can shine. And you have John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Red Witcher. It's funny because back then in the internet, everybody want to do that the actor play Mr. Fantastic for the MCU. So Marvel decided, okay, we use the actor for the gag for this movie. But after that, he chose Pedro Pascal for the future movie. Maybe they will divide when the movie will be here. But yeah, and I like the story. I like the concept when you follow Doctor Strange struggle with this own problem, and it need to fight Wanda to protect this young girl from the multiverse. America Chavez, she has the power to teleport between universe, and you have Wanda go crazy. That's interesting because is the result
The result.
the result of the Wanda Vision TV show, the best TV show Disney has done so far for Marvel. And in the end, this TV show, you have little teaser for the future, and this teaser is for this movie because she has the black hole, and the black hole is the key, and this movie is a magic book with a big power, and she tried to use this power to create this kid back. And I feel this movie has so many emotion. Elizabeth Olsen play this Wanda in an interesting way. Some people I know not like that because and first start this character is supposed to be a superhero, but when you see the TV show, you understand why she go so mad, so sad. So I'm not okay with that. It's just sad this character end here. Because in the end she fight Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange win, and she technically dead, but maybe in the future she maybe the character will be back. But yeah, and I like the way the movie will. You have the little taste of all Sam Raimi have done this cinema back because he's known for horrific movie. And this movie a little touch horrific and some moment movie, particularly in the end when the Doctor Strange use a corpse to fight Wanda, and it's like zombie and little dark. I like this touch and this movie is so raw. Is not something common for the MCU to use horror. Now you use more. You have the Moon Knight TV show. You have
Good night. Yeah.
you have Werewolf by Night, the special where it's black and white with a werewolf and use a mini monster. And now Marvel tried more horror, but back then it was a new thing. And the Tradition 2 was the start of that, and I like that because that give a new taste for the Marvel formula, and it's a good thing because you have now like 30, 60 movie in the MCU and so many of the same. So we need to create some new formula, some new thing to give us something new to discovery. And that one of the strange force of this movie is to try to do something new with the MCU, with the character we know, like Doctor Strange, Wanda, and other character in the movie. And you have some little new character like America Chavez. She's like the future of the MCU for the purpose of the multiverse. So yeah, I like many things. I like the intro, the first fight scene in the in New York. I think one of the best fight scene we can see in the street for the MCU. I like the way again Sam Raimi know how to do that. He had done with Spider-Man movie. Now he had done with the session with more technology, more budget. And you can see you need to give him more comic book movie to this director. Yeah, he know how to do that, like James Gunn, like Zack Snyder, etc. Some director know how to do Spyro movie, and this one is one of them. And I'm happy to he have done this movie. I want to see more of him for the other project coming. Maybe in the future of the industry, he will be he will done the third Doctor Strange. For the moment, not director have choose for this movie, but maybe he will done this one. We'll see in the future. But yeah, for me, Doctor Strange 2 was one of the best when he was released for the multiverse phase with Spider-Man. And one of my favorite movie of the MCU is Doctor Strange 2 with Spider-Man 3, other movie like that. But yeah, if you want to see something different from the MCU, this one is a good example for that. So yeah, I think I'm done talking. I will let you talk about that.
Thank you for sharing. I expected this movie to be bad. I thought that movie would be bad because I only heard bad things about it. And I end up watching it like I think 3 weeks ago or so, and I was shocked and surprised in a very good way. I enjoyed the trip. That was a fun movie. I maybe that's a odd take, but I still liked the first Doctor Strange a lot more. But as a sequel, it did held up. It was a fun movie, and there's not a lot to say, unfortunately, on my end, but I will admit the opening sequence was very fun and the action was entertaining throughout the entire movie. And I only had two issues with the entire movie. So, number one, plot convenience. In the entire world, Chavez could have appeared, but no, she just shows up at the wedding's place for Doctor Strange to save her. I mean, like it's very fortunate. It's very like forced into the plot. It doesn't feel right that she just teleports randomly by Doctor Strange. It feels off.
uh, is normal if you read many comic Marvel like me or Dragon, you know that every element come to New York because New York is the center of the Marvel universe for any story. So for me, it's not bizarre to see that. But maybe for you, you don't know the Marvel universe like me, like Dragon, like someone who read so many comic. Normally, everything go to New York because New York is the center of that. So I'm not surprised about that, but I
See,
understand.
American Chavez, the biggest problem with her as a character is ultimately she's she's an originally like a bisexual or a lesbian character depending on the version.
Why is so
She
many focus on her identity? I don't give a crap with who she wants to sleep with.
she's always been
Plus, she's a teenager, so
no,
it's
she's a Deus Ex Machina character traditionally. And that's why, like, I always thought it was weird when Mom was going to have her as a main thing, and I'm like, this is just modern Marvel trying, or some writer think they found some special character, but she's not. She's an annoying character that is overused or used improperly quite frequently.
maybe you're a bit harsh. Anyway, my second issue with that movie, it felt very stupid how the Illuminati explained Wanda how to defeat them by saying Black Bolt can make deadly noises. It felt so stupid. I'm like, bruh, who thought that was a good idea? It's like, you got that powerhouse, but no, we need to nerf him by just spoiling the milk. I hated this crap. Really, it's stupid. It's just plain stupid. So that was my second issue with Multiverse of Madness. Now, again, the action was very fun throughout the movie, so I'm more into my likes now. The meeting with Wanda, all she complains and says, "All life is unfair." It makes sense because she's the villain, and in her own story, she is not really the villain. Even if she does really awful things to a lot of people throughout the movie, in her mind, that's right, that's fine, that's justice. And that's fine. Like, again, that was entertaining. The fight at Carmitage was very fun. Competent at showing overtelling. I like that. That movie is a visual experience, and we need more of that in the MCU. The fight versus the Illuminati was entertaining despite the very stupid moment that kind of spoiled the milk. Um, Strange versus Mordo was very fun, and Wanda realizing she was turning into a monster was cool growth. I like that ending, and America Chavez arc about learning her powers and trusting herself more was kind of fun, and I enjoyed Chavez. She was fun. And again, unfortunately, I don't have a lot more to say, but that movie feels different. You compare it to most of the rest of the MCU, it feels different. Even from the first Doctor Strange. I think the first Doctor Strange was better, but the second one felt different as well. So again, uh, it's a well-made movie. I liked the experience a lot more than I expected. I went into it, I thought I would hate the experience, but that was a fun movie. And as of right now, we covered 38 MCU movies, and I've liked most of these. And Doctor Strange 2 in my books is top 10. Thunderbolts is in 7th place, while Doctor Strange 2 is a bit lower. It's like in 10th place. Anyhow, that's enough for me for now. I will ask Dlord, what did you think of Multiverse of Madness?
Multiverse of Madness suffers from more or less the issue that it's sometimes a weird film for, okay, the Illuminati, you have to explain them as they're like Reed Richards in all of them. Like, because Hulk does something really stupid, and like Hulk does Hulk things, he goes out, he winds up hulking out and destroying like part of Las Vegas. So they put him on a rocket ship and they send him off to where he eventually has a child with a woman on there, Scar. He finds his way back to Earth, and that starts the whole World War Hulk arc. That is more or less, because the idea of them using the Illuminati, it's not like, okay, fun fact, Multi, you hate the fact about Black Bolt? There's a reason why Black Bolt whispers.
Yeah, he doesn't want to delete people. I've seen the Trash Inhuman show, so I know his
Okay,
power,
so
but,
the
like,
concept is, in some parts,
I've also read some comics with him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so you know it's not just a plot thing with him.
I know, it's just stupid. He's like, Wanda, do this, and you disable our strongest weapon.
But you gotta understand, a part of it is, and especially when they kind of do the whole thing and they show Shimmegorath. Like, there's a whole part to that film that is like, it either went through a bunch of rewrites or just it's an odd film that is out of place. It's not that it has some very good acting, but it also shows the hole in the plot of what they were trying to do. And it's a film that gets criticism because of its layout more than anything else. Which it's long term because, as I said, American Chavez, how she was used at Marvel at the time and what her importance is, it shows a lot of writers went to her as the go-to, but she's a weird character to use. But like Wanda going off the heels of the WandaVision and finding the Darkhold, the Darkhold is always meant to make people go insane. So it's a weird film that had way too many plot issues. It's one of those things, and that's why its legacy as a film is bad. But that's why I say, like, parts of the film are good, parts of the film it hasn't aged really well because it was supposed to introduce the idea of the multiverse and the multiversal threat, because they established if you mess with the multiverse or what could happen, because the Doctor Strange thing, it'd be like, maybe it's their attempt at the early phases. But again, the executions and the follow-ups kind of hindered the film in all the threads. So that's why Multiverse of Madness is just a strange film that it's aged very, very weirdly. It's just that film it's not fondly thought of well because it's a convoluted mess. Because they didn't know what they wanted to do with it. And if it's a basis film, you need to capitalize on it. That's what I say.
Do you want to add more on Multiverse of Madness?
I'm good.
Okay, well, we are in the closing part of that Multiverse of Madness discussion. What would be your grade out of 10, Dlord?
I mean, I give it like outside of its plot, I give it like a 7 out of 10. Surprisingly, it's not.
Better than Thunderbolts.
It's
Interesting.
not. Its plot, like its cinematography and maybe some of the CGI is wonky, but it's interesting concept. But I mean, the executions and the follow up in the cycles afterwards what hurt that, because I don't think the multiverse plan was the original concept. But then someone just goes, "Oh, we need to pull out Secret Wars and the multiverse," and it wasn't because of what happened to Michael Majors either. I
That
think
was
they
before Major.
the whole thing is they're like, we're going to use Kang as a multiversal threat. Okay. But I'm just like, but who's going to be the main villain? And I'm like, either you can kind of figure where they were going to go, but hey, that's what I usually say. Comics.
Okay, what would be your grade out of 10, Matt?
Like I said, it's one of movie I like very much. It's a movie. It has unique way to illustrate the story. Like I said, Sam Raimi done this movie, and he know how to do superhero movie. As such, he have so many good ideas in the movie. Just remember the fight scene in the end when the Doctor Strange fight this version of him dark, and he use the music to fight him. He pitch he shoot music to the other, and you have some effect with that. Is
By the way, Matt, that ties in with the What If series.
Yeah, this movie connect to what if see, and I don't say that before, but yeah, because we have Captain Carter in the movie, played by the best actress from the MCU for me, Ailey. Uh, why I remember this name, Ailey Atwell. For me, this is the best actress from the MCU, and she played Captain Carter, the version of Captain America from the What If, and I was happy to see this character. But yeah, another good idea of this movie, use some character from other thing to merge him to use for a new thing. This movie is so brilliant for so many things. You can see Samiri is in this movie. He had created this movie. It's not just a Kevin Feige movie or Disney movie. You can see this from the formula model was modified by Sam Raimi to the movie. But I understand why you can see the mess in it. Because and the start, Sam Raimi was not the first director for the movie, but for me, it's a great movie of Marvel. It's one of the best when it was released, because back then the MCU was falling a little bit after the end game, and some people have come back for Spider-Man, and now the MCU had the mission to continue with that, and he have done Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange was a good continuity of Spider-Man No Way Home, with in their own way. And yeah, so I would give a 8.5 of 10 easy for this movie. I like this movie very much, and I think this movie has so great, unique idea, and so a unique way to illustrate the universe of Marvel. He deserves to be a discovery easy, and for me, 8.5 of 10.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. In my end, that's a 9.5, just a little bit below Thunderbolts. And I just realized I had forgotten Deadpool and Wolverine was part of the MCU prior our discussion. But yes, it's part of it. And that kind of changed my ranking of the MCU so far. But the MCU is very fun, and I think a lot of hatred is not justified at all. But I guess it's movies and it's all about opinion. And yeah, so that's it for this multiverse of madness discussion. What do you have going on your end of the internet, Matt?
Nothing new, like I always see stuff and I write about them, but in French, so not for the purpose of the podcast, unfortunately. Other than that, I'm just working, gaming, and see a movie and a TV show, and come back here to talk with you about that. I missed the last show, unfortunately, but I will try to be here again and again to talk. It's always funny and always a pleasure to talk with you, Dragon. We not always be there, but when we are, it's interesting to talk with you. You are like me, a big comic guy, and it's funny to talk with another people like me. About comics, so I'm gonna be curious to about your opinion about the DCU universe because you are so critic about the MCU. I not imagine how angry you are about the DCU. So maybe it will be fun to hear you about that. Uh,
DCEU is a little bit.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I collect comics as well. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So, Dlord, what do you have going on your end of the internet?
Oh, I just have my current rotation of games is Diablo 4. I got like Dune the Dark Ages on the 15th. I need to finish up Expedition 33 and took a KCD 2, but like this is going into a very busy month. I do mostly gaming and entertainment stuff, and I help multi out periodically. So long form. And eventually, whenever Mandalore gets better, I'm gonna have to start a thing on Star Wars Legacy series, long term. So
Amazing. And my end of the internet Thursday, we talk more politics at 5 p.m. The usual time for the shows. And it's more like Mario Carney, I ate the guy. Anyhow, next Tuesday we will talk about the last voyage of the Demeter and Dark Harvest, two fantasy flicks, and I cannot wait to talk about one of the two. The other one is terrible, and I put the pain and suffering in us, and that's my fault. Sorry about that, but that's it for now. And yeah, by the end of the month, we will get a new Final Destination movie. I cannot wait to cover that one, and I need to catch up because there's a lot of Final Destination movie I didn't see yet. With that being said, we are out.
Yeah, that blue podcast. Come check the scene. Movies old and new. Know what I mean? The Red Blue Podcast. Come check the scene. Movies old and new. Know what I mean?